Hi everyone, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Zoom's polling feature. Specifically, I'm going to build on some of the concerns and ideas that are noted in the above list. And this video is also designed to kind of build on and supplement Zoom's tutorial, which is just sort of an excellent version of, what polling looks like in a class with multiple students. So there are a couple of things you want to look at from the get-go here. And polling should be enabled by default at FSW, but if it's not, it's very easy to do. You just would scroll down here and you toggle this on. But again, it should be enabled by default. So when you've got a meeting scheduled, and you do need to schedule a meeting in advance to use the polling feature. So you have the meeting scheduled. It's already set. You just click on it. And you scroll down to the bottom, and here it would say you have no polls. Click here to add it, and you would click add, and it lets you add the poll. You add a title for the poll, you add your question, you add the answers, you select whether or not you want students to be able to answer it with a single correct answer or possibly multiple correct choices. And here is something very important. You click whether or not you want the poll to be anonymous. If it's anonymous, you won't be able to see what student gave what answer to what question. You might do this if you were just using the polls to get general feedback from the students to see where they're at, or it's just as a kind of a stress-free test run for them before a more serious exam later on. You do have the option of sharing the results of any poll with the class, but regardless of whether or not it is anonymous to you, the students will not be able to see what student gave what answer to what question. It will always be anonymous to them, so that's important to know. Also, keep in mind you can add multiple questions for each poll. When you issue a poll, it is going to ask all of the questions in the poll simultaneously. And again, the Zoom tutorial video at the top of this page does a good job of illustrating this. They have 2 questions in their poll. So if you're giving like a summative assessment at the end of a class, you might put, as many questions as you want in one poll, and you'd launch it, and they get all the questions at once, and then they could answer it and, leave class when they're done, or something of that nature. However, if you want to give different polls at different points in the class, maybe one at the outset, one in the middle, one at the end, or scatter them about, and have, 1 to 2 questions per poll, you would have standalone polls. And I'll show you when we actually go into the class session, Zoom automatically starts with the first poll, and then you can kind of select down. And the students won't see the poll until you hit the, the publish, the give poll option. So again, more on that in a minute. And that's how you create polls. And then the polls just stack up here. And when you want to look at them, if you need to edit them, you come back and edit them. Okay, so now I'm going to bounce into the meeting, and I'll be right back with you in a second. Okay, so if you are, if you're watching this video just so you can quickly get the answer to figure out how to post the screenshot for the activity for this portion of the module, then you're at the right place. This is where you want to be. Hopefully you're watching the whole thing, right, to get more of a holistic understanding of how polling works. But this is also where I'm going to show you how to post the screenshot for that activity. So if you have created the poll right before this meeting, you now have this cool button here called polls. And if you click on it, it does what you'd expect. It creates the poll. And notice it automatically defaults to the first poll the first time you click it. And then you can use this button to scroll down to which option you want to use. But students aren't seeing any of this right now. If you want to do the screenshot, just taking a picture of this right now and so uploading it, that'll do it. When you're ready to launch the poll, you click Launch Poll. And then it shows up on your student's screen. So I actually have logged in with a second account so I can answer questions and show you what that looks like. So I am my student. I'm hitting submit on my phone. And now you can see that that's the answer I've submitted. I hit end polling. You are seeing this. Your students are not seeing this. End polling. Once you've gotten all the results in, when you end, they will no longer be able to answer it. I guess that's, coming on the word end. And if you want to share results with the class, you can hit share and they can see what everyone else answered. But again, they won't be able to see the names of anyone who gave a specific answer. They'll just see the totals. So that's important. If you want to relaunch the poll, you can click here to relaunch it. But this is important. If you hit relaunch, like maybe you went over a lesson and you want to give them another shot, it clears the previous results entirely. So if they got it wrong, it clears it. If they got it right, it clears it. It gives them another shot at the question. But make sure that they know that they still have to answer it again, even if they got it right, or they think they got it right, and you're giving them another chance. They still need to answer it again just to prevent confusion. Make sure you let them know. So now I'll answer the right question that they should probably put the secret base at Florida SouthWestern State College. and polling, and then class can go on, and then you want to do the second one. And the second one is just a good example of, again, remember, you've got to hit launch polling. It can confuse you if you don't hit launch polling. Your students would say, I don't see the poll. You got to hit launch polling for it to show up. This one lets them do multiple answers. So here I've used my one phone to give the 2 different answers. And that's kind of good, especially if you're giving a survey of something. And polling, and there you go. And now I'm going to bounce out of this screen to show you how to download the results in the report using the reporting feature. Okay, and so if you've chosen to not have the responses be anonymous, you can use the reporting feature to get access to the data from those polls. And this is done in a way that's very similar to if you're using the reporting feature to get for attendance, with one twist. So here, instead of doing usage, which is what you do for attendance, you hit meeting. And now this is so confusing, I put a separate screenshot for it above. If you hit registration report, it's not going to give you the information. It looks like it is, but it won't give you what you want. In fact, it'll say there's nothing there, and it'll just confuse and frustrate you. So I'm worried, that can be something that waylays folks. You got to click here for poll report, because that's what you want, the report for the polls. So I'll hit search. It'll generate the list of meetings that we've got. I'll select the meeting that I want. I'll hit generate. It will then take a second to generate the report. And you will hit download, and it will give you the report for that class. And it's as simple as that. Okay? Thanks so much for watching. Oh, I downloaded a blank one from earlier. Oh, sorry, everyone. I just wanted to come back in and show you what it looked like when you downloaded the right file. Right, so then here you have got my name, the username, the user email, and then the question, and then my answer to the question. And here you can see it picked both, so it listed both answers. So there is that. Also, keep in mind there can be a little bit of lag between the end of your class and when the polling data is available, so don't panic if it's not there immediately. The same thing is true for your usage statistics, right? And then one other thing that's really important for you to keep in mind is this right here. And this is true of the records it'll keep for your previous meetings as well. Not cloud recordings, but the previous meetings, as long as they'll show up in your file. The maximum report duration is 1 month, so don't give these in September and then try to pull them in November. Right? You've got to make sure that you download the results when you need them. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks so much.